Hello, my name is Griffin Hill, and today I will be discussing about the topic of eating disorders. According to the South Carolina Department of Mental Health, eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any mental illness. This is astonishing because many people have never heard of or know very little about eating disorders, and being the number one killer for mental illnesses cries to have more attention. I personally can attest to eating disorders. At the age of 12, I was diagnosed with anorexia. I have spent 11 hospital stays trying to recover from the eating disorder. Now, this has been an 8-year process, and I'm still not fully there. But, that being said, there needs to be a cry for more attention and help towards eating disorders. First, today I will be discussing about what exactly an eating disorder is. Secondly, about the causes and problems with eating disorders. And lastly, solutions on an individual level and a collective society level that we can put an end to eating disorders. There are 3 main types of eating disorders: anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating disorders. These 3 all have different ways of methods to control food intake. Anorexia is a restriction of food. Bulimia being eating in large quantities and amounts, more emotional eating. And binge eating is eating in large quantities as well, but then going and doing purging behaviors, which could be self-vomiting or over-exercising. According to Polaris Teen Center in 2018 stated, adolescent eating disorder statistics show 2.7% of teens in the U.S. between 13 and 18 years old have an eating disorder. This could mean your student, your friend, your son, your daughter could be suffering in darkness without you or anyone knowing. This is why we need more attention towards eating disorders. In my audience analysis survey sent out before my speech, I asked the question of, have you heard of an eating disorder before, including anorexia, bulimia, or binge eating? All my responses, I received 100% yes, people have. That's a good thing, but do they know more deeply about it? And that's the thing that gets lost in the public information. The 3 main different eating disorders are only being fueled by society issues today. The social issues are unrealistic body types, body image problems, and social media. All of these references come through media to the attention of our young in the world and in the United States. Now, eating disorders have more prevalence in Western societies and countries than non because of the influence of media. So, according to researchers, Will Berger in 2020 claimed, cross-sectional research has found that engagement with photo-based social media sites, such as Instagram, is associated with poor body image. Now, these social media sites are typically used by young and adolescents, and this is why we can see an uptake in eating disorders in our young and adolescent populations. Another question that I asked my audience survey was, how strongly do you believe media has an effect on body image on a scale of 1 to 10? A majority of my respondents gave me a 10, with a few giving me a 7, which that is high for people in the public to be saying that media does play a role in body image issues, feeding into eating disorders. Influences of media in general are causing consequential effects on many across the board, from being an adult to being a kid to being an adolescent. It just plays into every dynamic across Western societies. So, on an individual level, you can do many things, but one solution that would be helpful is on the eating disorder community would be doing donations. According to Lauren Mulholm, with Very Well Minded in 2020, stated in spring of 2008, at the age of 15, Rosenam and Saffron founded Project Heal to raise money for others suffering with eating disorders who want to recover but are unable to afford treatment. Actions on an individual level, like donating to a charity that helps with treatment for eating disorder sufferers, is something that can all be done, and done in a way that helps all survivors and sufferers for eating disorders. So, on a community-based level, according to BMC of Public Health, strategies to improve school-based health curriculum to include content aimed at preventing eating disorders. A second suggestion would be requiring training for educators and health providers on the prevention and early identification of eating disorders. And thirdly, implement school-based anti-bullying policies that protect students from being bullied about their weight. Now, these would be a cry for public policy change, and us as a community can push for public policy changes to see action to protect our young ones and vulnerable people that are susceptible to eating disorders. As individuals and a collective society, change to help put an end to this hidden illness is something we all should agree upon and come to fight for. In summary, eating disorders are affecting children and adolescents at a higher rate every year. This is caused by media and social influences. Today, we talked about what eating disorders are, their behaviors, the causes of them, and solutions to fix the problems. Being that eating disorders have the highest mortality rate than any other mental illness is a problem. The actions you, me, and as a community that we take forward can put an end to this deadly illness. Thank you very much.